What's up guys, Draco here, random thoughts about turtles and tortoises. I'm just gonna lump them together because they're very similar. Is the plural, I know the plural of tortoise is tortoises, but it sounds so wrong to say tortoises. At least I assume that's the plural. I haven't actually checked, but like, tortoises. Doesn't sound right to say. Do you ever do that thing where you just say a word over and over and then it's like, this does not sound like a word? But yeah. Also, I had like exam stuff last week, like mocks, so that's why I didn't do a video last week. Just saying. Exams are not that far away, so I'll probably do a break for a while when I do exams. But you know, not many people watch these, so no one really cares. Anyway, turtles and tortoises. First of all, whoever said tortoises are not fast has never been chased by a tortoise. I've also never been chased by a tortoise, but I've seen like people being chased by tortoises like in person, and they're not slow. Maybe it's a terrapin, but like it was pretty fast. Like obviously it's not like insanely fast, but they are pretty fast. Like, you know, they get bad rap. I assume a giant tortoise is probably slower, but you know, I'm a big fan of most animals, but yeah, tortoises are very cool. And turtles. There's this whole thing of like, oh yeah, we're drinking from paper straws to save the turtles. I've seen loads of memes about it. Where it's like that's like meanwhile the world and it's like wars and stuff. I'd like to go a different approach of why do I need a straw? I don't really get the point of a straw. I guess like cartons to make sense, but I don't know. Like cartons to make sense because you need to pierce the thing. But like when it's like a bottle or something, or just like a glass, like I don't need a straw for that. Just give me the glass and I'll just go like that. Or if it's like a glass bottle, take it off, like the bottle cap and go glug. Or a plastic bottle, which I guess is worse, but you can't really sell a bunch of like glass bottles practically. Maybe you could. I don't know how hard manufacturing glass is. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, why do I get that, like, it's good for the environment, but, like, it decomposes in your drink, and it's just like, can I just not have a straw, please? Also, there's a whole thing of, like, it's really, like, chemistry sciencey, so I don't really understand it, but if you put a straw in, like a paper straw, because there's so many air gaps, and it gives more space for the like carbonic acid to split back into carbon dioxide and water, which is also apparently how Mentos works. Like, it's not because Mentos do a reaction, it's just because Mentos has loads of air gaps. That's what I've heard. I heard it on Instagram Reel. It might not be real because I haven't fact checked it, because again, I don't really know much about chemistry and I don't care much for chemistry. But yeah, like, paper straws are just not practical. It's just like, drinking from a bottle is practical. Or if you want to share it with someone, get 2 glasses or something. Just pour some of the bottle into one glass and some into the other glass. Then you get to share it. Fine. Like, who cares? I don't know. Like, I love turtles and I'm happy to do things that help save the turtles and other sea creatures and just the planet. But if there's an alternative that's just as helpful, such as not using a straw, why don't I do with the alternative that doesn't ruin my drink? I also tend to just drink water, but yeah. Like, there's some drinks where you need a straw, like, I mentioned if there's a carton or something. Or like bubble tea, you can't really do that without a straw. But, I don't know, I feel like a lot of things, it's like, instead of thinking of an alternative for something, why don't we just go, hey, we don't really need this thing there in the first place, like a straw. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's loads of examples, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. What things we just, like, all use, but we just really don't need it? I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things now that we just still buy that we don't really need. Like torches, you just have your phone. I also think just in general, there's a lot of things that like people want so much that they don't really need. Where it's like, oh, I'll be happy if I get this, I'll be happy with that, I get that. And it's like, well, you probably won't. But then that's a matter of like, where does happiness come from? And it's like, does happiness come from a lack of desires? Which is, I think the like Buddhist thing is suffering comes from desires. So if you have no desires, you'll be happy. But then, like, you can't feasibly get rid of all desires. And also, I don't think that's the goal of Buddhism. It's just saying, be aware that desires can cause suffering. It doesn't mean that suffering's innately bad. But yeah, I feel like people, like, you're just as happy if you don't want the thing as if you want the thing and then get it. But that doesn't mean, like, don't buy anything. But it just means maybe think a bit more before you buy stuff. I don't know. Because, like, yeah, it's nice to buy stuff. It also, it's like the lipstick effect or whatever in the economy. Where it's like, when your economy's bad, you want to buy a few cheaper things so that you feel like you have more agency. I don't do economics, but I've heard that. And I do think that it is vaguely true of, like, when the world's going crazy, like, you want some sort of stability. And it's like, hey, I can buy stuff. I have some control. Whereas you're not just like, oh, I have to go paycheck to paycheck. Even if it's something really cheap, you just feel like you have more agency, even though you're still being subconsciously controlled. It's weird. It's also not very turtle related. So yeah, ask an economist. No. Economist? No, what is, I don't know the word. Economist? Anyway, I mean, I'm also not a turtle expert, but I like turtles and I don't like economy. So yeah, turtles are very cute. Yeah, I was just think there's a lot of sea creatures that are underrated. Do people rate sea creatures very often? I just feel like most what other reptiles in the sea are there? Because I can't name any, but I also don't know much. Yeah, I don't know much in general. Marine iguanas, I think, exist, right? Maybe, somewhat. Like, there's a lot, like, in, lakes and rivers. Like, a lot of snakes. But I don't know many reptiles in the ocean. Other than turtles. So turtles are great. I don't know, I feel like turtles are just so recognisable because of that. Because there's not much near turtles that are alike to turtles. Whereas you look at a lion, you're like, oh, that's kind of like a jaguar. Because they're big cats. Like, do they live near each other? I think cheetahs live somewhat near lions. I'll be honest, I really don't know much about animals that well. I love animals, but I don't, like, I have surface level knowledge and I'm like, I'm happy with that. That's honestly my life philosophy. Like, there's a lot of things where I know not much about it, but I know, like, a baseline level and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And I don't feel the need to learn more because it's not something that directly impacts me. The other thing is, I don't make claims about it being like, I know everything about this, which is the issue. Like the, peak of Mount Stupid or something where you feel really confident. Like, I just acknowledge, yeah, I don't really know much about this. Here's my take. Maybe a bad take. And I think that is fine in my opinion. Maybe people disagree, but I think that as long as you make it clear that, like, it's probably not a very good take, or, like, not a... It doesn't mean you have a bad take, it's basically if someone who is way more researched disagrees with you, then you should probably change your view, and that's what I would usually do. What am I, Dr. Seuss? I ran out of rhymes though, so I'm no longer Dr. Seuss. Right. I am a moose. What sound does a moose make? What's the plural of moose? Mooses? Moose? Meese? Moose-eye? Anyway, yeah. This has really not been very turtle related, but yeah, straws. They exist. Honestly, this was more straw related than turtle related. But anyway, thanks for. Oh, I wish I had a shell. That would actually be awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah. I don't remember how I end these videos off. It's been 2 weeks since one usually. Yeah, go appreciate nature, because nature's awesome. Bye.